All right, this is the start of a new video. I'm going to go over a couple of things about where we've been and then our next project we're headed off to. We'll go ahead and get started on that. I am happy, very happy. You can't even imagine how happy I am that I'm pretty much ready to start putting the bus back together. I do have a few odds and ends, which is what I'm going to button up now. I'll show you what they are. Number one is back here. I lowered my windows down about 6 inches. Normally they were up here. I brought them down, put in a 3-foot window instead of a 30-inch window in the master bedroom, which I really like. I didn't run into any problems on the other side, but on this side, when I went to pull it out, there was a metal plate covering this opening. I didn't know what it was, so I drilled all the rivets out. Down here at the bottom, I got my grinder in there and cut it off because it went down behind it. Pulled the rivets off of this side, and this is what came out. Well, I knew that something like that wasn't put in there for no reason, but I went outside of the bus. I didn't see anything. I searched around, couldn't find anything. What I figured out is that this is actually the air intake for the engine. So you'll see this slot right here. You can see some daylight through there. That slot right there actually goes back into and in front of one of the radiator fans on the driver's side of the bus. And it pulls engine air in there and then down these vanes and down in this hole right here, which goes down into the air cleaner. So, that being said, I have to put that back in. So that's my job I'm going to do today. Actually just have to, it's a little bit too tall now, so I've got to cut it down, and I'm not too worried about the airflow being a little bit decreased because from this bar up back here, it's closed off anyway. So there was no air going through there. So really all we lost in air height was this 2-inch space, and hopefully that doesn't make too much of a difference. So I got to get that buttoned up and get back at it. So the next thing is, and I hope you guys don't make the same mistake as me, I took down my tank that was here, that was for the bathroom, water tank for the bathroom. And at the same time I thought in my mind, without checking anything out or going outside or looking around, that this area right here was the fill for the water tank, because I didn't see a fill anywhere else. And I cut it out. Well, it's not a fill for the water tank. That line right there that I cut off actually goes down and goes to the coolant reservoir for the coolant of the engine. So I resealed this, which it wasn't sealed before, but I sealed this back on, and I've ordered a new spout. When it gets here, I'll put it on. But you guys don't make that mistake. That needs to stay. So I'm fixing that. I'll show you what else I have left to do, and one area that maybe you guys can help me with. So on the outside of the bus, I've pretty much got it done. I'm actually going to take my moldings that used to be on here, and there used to be a molding that went like this down all the way down here, and then a molding down here turned the corner and went down here. So I'm actually not putting this molding back on. So I'm going to bring my molding down here like this. I'm going to make use the corners, cut them, make an S turn like this. Come down here and then turn this way and go along the bottom. But you'll notice I got some areas like this I need to clean up, reseal. Some areas where the aluminum has been, can't think of the word right now. It's not rusted out like on metal. And anyway, you guys will know what I mean. But so I got to figure out how to treat some of that, see if there's a way to do it without just replacing the aluminum, because it's not terrible. There's just a few spots like that I would like to go through. And then there's some areas on my bus where somebody's came back and replaced some rivets, like this one, and I'm going to drill those out and replace those rivets and make sure that we don't have any future bad rivets in the future. You can see this is the factory rivet, how nice it looks. This is one they added. You can see the hole in the middle, and it's allowed water to leak around it. So I got to fix those areas. And then I ran out of my 1/4 inch bulb shave type rivets, shaved head rivets. So I've got probably, I don't know, 50 of those to put in. So I've got it on in, for the most part I got them done, but I got just a few that are missing around the bus. So I got to clean that up, and those are pretty much the areas that I've got to take care of. I mean, I've got some stuff like this to do. I'm going to straighten these doors all out, get everything to line up. My focus is being able to move into it, so I'm going to get all of my interior stuff done first, and then come back and address all this exterior. So the only interior stuff I'm really concerned about is the stuff that needs to be done in advance. So like you'll see here, they've came back and put different rivets in here. I don't know if they did some work on this panel at one point in time, but these rivets are all rusted and terrible, so I'm putting new rivets in as soon as I get them. But anyway, then one more thing I wanted to ask, maybe you guys can help me with. 2 spots on the bus, you see that cut right there? I was cutting out rusted metal on the inside when the grinder wheel caught, pulled through the aluminum. Is there a way to patch that besides just cleaning it all up, welding it, grinding it smooth? I wonder if there's some kind of a product, you know, like a Bondo or something that would hold up in that situation, because I could probably use it on some of those other areas around the rivets, like this one. The once I clean up, it's got a little bit of corrosion around it. So anyway, some advice there. Anyway, I'll go inside and introduce you to the next project. So after I get those things fixed, the next project I'm doing is getting some framing in this back, because I'm trying to get ready to insulate, and everywhere else it's ready. I can just get it insulated, trim the foam, and we're good to go. But back here, we don't have any structure, and so I've been trying to design, and I think I've decided that I'm going to just hook onto this tube with some framing. I've built a thing here. Then I'll continue framing up this way to frame in the back, and then I'll come off of here out this way to the front, and then angle and go down. That way it'll give me 1.5 inches here, and everywhere else along the front here just spray full of foam. So anyway, I've figured out that angle, and I've got these 2 pieces hooked together where this one matches the back angle and this one is plumb with the level with the bus. So anyway, I can start extending out from there, but I do have to fix that area right there first, because I will be covering it up. So back at it. All right, well, I'm going to give you an update on what we've been doing. Hopefully the lighting isn't too terrible. It got dark outside, so we're simply relying on my little shop light, but this is where we're at. So my actual mattress will sit, my mattress frame will sit right on this height. Actually, that's not true, plus 1.5 inches, because I still have to make some framing here to give us room to insulate. Then I'm just going to put over the top of this access panel, I'll put in a piece of rigid 1.5 inch insulation, and then everything else will be spray foamed except for that one area where I need that access panel. So I left this one here 2.5 inches high, so by the time I put the 1 inch, excuse me, the 1.5 inch piece here, I'll still have something to fasten my skins to. I wanted this to be straight up and down because my mattress will fit right up against here, and I hate any kind of a hole for my pillow to fall down in the hole, so I made this straight. So my mattress will actually be up there at 18 inches. So that leaves me almost a foot from the top of the mattress to here. So I have room for my pillows. This shelf here is what we use in our other place to put our remotes and stuff on, because we fall asleep sometimes, one of us or the other one of us, with the TV on. And if we have the remote over on our nightstand, then the other one can't reach it. So we like to keep all of our remotes up here where everybody can reach it. So anything that we're running. And so I actually have to build here still a little shelf like this one that's going to come up right here and then across to the same height. But it'll leave a shelf right here. This will be a cabinet from the front of here straight up, and it'll have a door on it. Same on that side. Then down here we're going to have, we don't have a lot of room, but right here just below the window we'll have a countertop with a nightstand, that covers these, so these will not be visible at all. Anyway, so that's where we're at. And then once I get this last shelf built that I know what I'm doing, then I have to work on something up here. I'm thinking I can run some studs just like I did here all the way across to that other one. Maybe I can run another one way up to the top, have it stick out as far as I can. Same in the middle. That'll give me something to sheet after I get my insulation blown in. And then we'll have to see how it comes out over here in the corner. Then I'll just have to fit my cabinet along this archway and then this archway so that that'll fit. And then once we get this in at this new level right here, where I'm going to build this next little riser, from there up will be straight, and there will be cabinet doors across there above this shelf. So that's what we're working on. That's where I'm at. I'm going to go ahead and start working on this top part, trying to get this stuff tied in so I can get ready to spray my insulation in. Back at it. All right, up to date. Here, this is where we're at. So this is my back wall. I've pretty much got it all done now. So what I've got is this part right here will be basically a wall. The wood panel will come up here and come up all the way up, straight up, and then this will be a door. Open up, there'll be a cupboard here. This is my shelf for the remotes and miscellaneous stuff at the head of the bed. This panel here will come from here and go straight up to there, and there will be doors on here to access cabinets in there, and then the same on this end. Now on this end here, I've got this top all done. Got this piece in to match the bus, so when I put my slats on, I can put a cleat screwed on top and on top to have a way to hook the end of my slats there. Unfortunately, once I get this all in, I'm actually going to have to take this piece and these blocks out because there's no way I can get up behind here to insulate with the spray foam. So I'm going to have to pull those out to insulate behind it and then put them in after I get done spraying. And I realize that some of these others are going to be a little bit in the way to spray foam, but I don't want to have spray foam out and all over places and then have to clean it all up to bond and dig holes for my studs to fit in on the ends and stuff like that. So this way I can just foam all around them. This end will be a little more tedious than some, but when it's all said and done, I think it'll work a lot better having it in first. Same with these slats. I'm going to put my ceiling slats in foot on center this direction so that I can put my wood on it. I'm going to go ahead and put all of them in now for the same reason. That way they're all fastened on. Here where they're going to fasten, my blocks are all in, so I don't have to worry about digging holes in foam for them. The only thing I'll have to pay attention to is that I don't put so much foam in that it's sagging them down. We'll have to watch that. But anyway, that's the back wall, roughed in, ready to go. Got to put some electrical boxes and a few, pull a few wires down into the floor, and then that back wall is ready to insulate. I'm going to start on the ceiling, and I'll check in when I get a little bit done. Back at it. So here it is, time to cut the strips for the ceiling. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You don't need a saw like this to cut the strips, but if you have the means, I highly recommend it. All right, so an update on where we're at. So I've been putting these slats in on the ceiling, leaving them running wild here because when I get up the gumption and realize I need to do a little bit more demo, I've got to get this white cap out. Then I can continue these slats as far forward as I can until they hit the slanting down roof. But anyway, I'll kind of show you what I've been doing and things I've learned, things to look for. So yeah, I've been hooking the slats in back here, putting a cleat up above them like that, hooking them into there. I've glued the little cleat to this piece, but not to this piece, because I'm going to actually take this piece out to insulate. So these pieces will just be sitting there, but I've got these all tied in. I put that piece on the end of those boards to pick up the backing for the paneling here on the left side. I've also got one over there on the right side. So I just screwed these up to the rib. The middle one was easy because it just went directly on the rib. The second one's just spanning. I was going to, that seam came out right on a cross member, so it was easy. But some of the seams did not, like this one right here. I was going to use my pocket drill, hook them together with some Craig screws, but it wasn't as strong as I would like it to have been, so I converted to putting a block up on top and fastening it through there. So I did that anywhere that I had a seam, and then any place that it's kind of bowing or drooping, I did this. So I hooked this piece to the steel, and then this upper piece to here, and then the cleat to there. Glued that all in, so it's made it pretty secure and pretty straight. So if I look from the front back, you can see that it's all pretty straight. There's one little spot where it's drooping down just a hair. I'm hoping that when I put the paneling on, it'll square that up, but everything else looks great. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the other side and get it done. Once I get it done, then I'm going to transfer up front and try and get that white thing out. I'm not sure how it's hooked in there. I'll have to explore and figure it out. Anyway, back at it. Got that front fiberglass out. Now the question is, I like the open window on the right. I'm thinking of just eliminating that black on the driver's side and opening that up so we can see out. Thoughts on that? I know I'd have to create some kind of a sun visor or a blind there. So today I'm eliminating the rear emergency hatch. I've never done it before, so I didn't know for sure how they worked. Got the lid off, went down below. It's not hooked on down there. What I found is if you pull this seal out of this track, that there's a bunch of rivets. And those rivets fasten these two together. This section, the upper section, you see the seam right there. The lower section that's welded in the bus. I just want to get this upper section off, and then I can just seal and rivet a flat piece of aluminum over this hole, and that should seal it off pretty good. So I'm going to go grab my drill now that I've exposed these rivets, see if I can get this frame off of there. The original sealant that was holding that gasket in, I'm going to tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. I thought I had all of it out. There's just a little teeny strip around there, and every hole I drill, it collects. Once you get it on your finger, it's there forever. That stuff's insane. So I finally got all the rivets out. There's my screwdriver. There's my second drill bit. That is the stickiest, most disastrous sealant adhesive I've ever dealt with. Insane. Enjoy. It's dark, but I want to go ahead and close out this post so hopefully you can see. So I got all my slats in the ceiling. They're done. And I got them all done up here in the front. You can see how they come up. They land straight in the front there, so that's pretty good. I'll just have these two triangular areas right there and right there that'll be difficult to work with, but we can make them work. Anyway, I'm on to electrical. My big push now is to get ready for insulation. So I'll catch you up on the electrical and the other things I've done next time. Anyway, follow me along. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Click the like button. Enjoy this journey with us. Back at it.